Greetings, dreamers. So we've come to it at last, the apex of our story, the zenith of the entropic spiral that will bring everything together. This chapter will be very different than the previous ones, as most of it takes place in the abstract passage between here and there, as it assumes the form of an epic poem, while she rockets through time and space past every twinkling dream star. She will visualize iconographic imagery, like visions in stained glass, or the predictive mosaics of Uhai. These depictions will accompany her words in order to evoke an almost religious experience. We will contemplate the infinite possibilities as we recoil along the passageway that brought us here. We will hear her song, which is, in this case, a lyric with riddling intent. It will be read by many voices, from the many minds within the singularity that perpetuates them. As she channels these imaginary spirits, another narrator attempts to usurp the story, as though competing for attention and arguing against the very nature of the dream. Is this the stargazer's way of trying to slow her down and distract her from her ultimate goal? If she succeeds in avoiding him and can pass him by, thereby reaching the golden fissure at the edge of eternity, then fly into the oblivion to awaken she who sleeps beyond the stars, then everything will turn out okay, and she will have found the happy ending that she believes in so strongly. I've been looking forward to this. I hope you're ready. Let's turn the page. A spell binding.
Ultimately, they are all shards, fragments of the larger you. They are but symbols for themselves, living in your mind. They reflect what you cannot see, while trying to help you recreate yourself. But as you know, you have no power unless I give it to you. You are a part of me. You cannot escape my shadow. You will never truly become yourself until I am long gone. So I will leave after I finish dreaming. Then you'll be free. I gave you permission to discover the true you. Now you must thrive for both of us. Will you become something more than either of us? We may never know. It is not for us to decide. We only induce the story. Others must love it.
Chapter 13. Zenith of the Entropic Spiral. Remember all that you've forgotten. Every bit of it was necessary for you to arrive here and now. Every sacrifice was made in order to bring you into this most essential form. You are returning to your body, projected backward towards your origin. The distant buried drum pounds in rhythm with your heart. Can you hear it? Do you feel it thumping? Before I go, please tell me that you love me, and by saying so, rebuild my dream. All you need to do is blow, and the candle of life will ignite. Speak my name and uncork the fountain of purest devotion that will run wild across the universe. The love that we create with our lives is a necessity for existence to have meaning. Beyond this shell, there is a deeper hidden truth. You must go to the intersection where all minds meet and where the silver stream flows into the golden seam. Everything comes from within. Disappear into these pages of your story and be forever transformed into the nightmare god, a dark paragon of merciless destruction, whose voice can be louder than thunder. Speak softly instead. Deeply exhale the primordial sound of your name, and all shall be forgiven. Dream stars, like discarded breadcrumbs, have led you forth, each one a seed of another golden tree. Now follow the stream of silver, cut the connective threads, and tear through the golden seal. Sing your swan song and gild the lily, enchant us all with your music. Let us dance the waltz that makes us one. Come and climb the twisted ladder. To be two is not possible. We can only act as three. There is you, and there is me, and there is the endlessly vast space between us that we fight so hard to close. It is what brings us together to heal the eternal scar.
I am here. I am waiting.
You carry now the scepter that clutches the acorn, seed of the mother root, golden god of trees from which all stories originate. You, our creator, have been crowned queen of dreams that might yet be. The arrow you released across time, the exhilarating note you played which still echoes and encapsulates us, the hearts that you have broken and mended again. All of these special things have contributed to the dream you must soon awaken yourself from. Reborn like a phoenix, you whisper rumors of rain, for you have twice drowned our world in your tears of both water and fire. All that you perceive is a part of who you are. The immeasurable abyss lies before you. You are depthless. She sleeps beyond the stars, and that is where you now must go. All who love you, honor you, and are waiting to be reunited.
I have reclaimed my voice. Henceforth, I shall speak for myself. You may try to ignore me as you perform the lullaby you have long refused to sing, but my voice will remain, echoing throughout your mind, just like the taunting chirps of the elusive star you've cursed me to follow. If I am one, then I am many. The confluence of our beings begins and ends here. This is our coda. You seek to know that which by nature cannot be known.
Draw forth thy quill with poet's blood. Inscribe thy story, fire and flood. Dance with us amid the stars. We've never met, but we share scars. You sit down in my empty chair. 'Tis perilous, but you don't care. Your recklessness is virtuous. You brought your perfect truth to us. You took a bite, grew wings, took flight, and now you're coming home.
There is peace to be discovered in the eternal mystery we have woven. We stand upon the threshold on opposite sides of the same locked door. Our keys shall cross, and the dreamer will shudder. I tend to complicate things. This narrative we've been sharing has sent me on a spiraling conquest for the shards of time. I've renewed my lanterns since I gave you my dream star. It long served as a beacon for those who were lost, drifting through your endless ocean.
The light that casts the shadow hence breaks down the walls and leaps the fence. Solstice and equinox inherit the entire universe to share it. With thy ancestral heritage, thy birthright is thy parentage, with which thou art thus realized. Unto your birth, with open eyes, be born again, break through, amen, and now you're going home.
They sought refuge on my island. They brought with them stars as offerings. But now I know they are worthless trinkets. I fooled myself into believing that they were the answer to everything. We've been traveling in concentric circles, a lazy dance, bouncing by the cosmic clusters. We glance off of stars and send them plummeting from the heavens.
Follow instincts, stay in touch, cooperate with flowers much, as any keeper keeps the nest and does so at the queen's behest. A caterpillar once you were, now angry butterfly you stir. You're not a damsel in distress, no rescue will you acquiesce. But you've saved me in my time of need, so now we're coming home.
Our slow waltz across the stage helps us to remember our roles and how best to play them. You carry now your empty cup. I filled it once, but never again. Soon, the awakening eye will consume all. Your reckless virtue, shooting holes through the moon and giving it a face, allowed your imaginary ancestors to collect lunar fragments and build a makeshift star. It is special. You should never take it off.
It's just a flower, now you know. All one has to do is blow. The seeds will plant themselves, you see. Perpetuate, you live and breathe. Though if undying this bloom be, it takes away fragility, replacing it with perfect life, yet without death it dulls the knife. Uncut, evergreen, it can't be seen. So now we're going home.
The symbols vanish as you forget their meanings. Their mystery was never meant to be solved. It was contrived to awaken your heart, the distant, buried drum that calls everything into formation. Our child lord's splendor returns from the sacred well, the source and the void, where there is no suffering. You hesitate to set the child free, but nothing can prevent what has already come to pass.
Impermanence is beauty's self, reduced to bottles on the shelf. We keep them secret, just in case we need to save the human race. Inevitability comes to pass, for nothing pure is meant to last. We march now towards the dawning day. What life gives, time will take away. A beacon shines, its light reminds, this time they're coming home.
If it has happened once, it has happened many times before. The truth is a great sorrow to be carried, a burden of the soul. But when the egg hatches, blessings will pour forth from its fractured shell. While you were off stomping through the dream, talking to yourself about yourself and telling yourself this story, I have been hard at work attempting to repair the damage you have done.
The darkness cannot penetrate. Adaptive winds will renovate. The dream is free from all desire. Tenacious fate, a voice respires. Yon herald of the divine spark, eternal lamp with sacred mark. Do not resist your destiny. Come claim your throne right next to me. You radiate, they lie in wait. This time, they're going home.
I stand here now in surrender, but you cannot defeat me, for I am part of you, and you are a part of me. Which of us is the shadow, and which is the light? Both hold their own mysteries. The hole you left in time, in the very fabric of the dream, created a paradox whereby one became many. Our shattered psyche reflects all the experiences of life, but now that they are scattered like stars across the shadowy gulf, it is impossible for me to prognosticate.
You glow like sunshine, golden warm. You stretch to take a tree-like form. You call forth all your loyal friends, the ghosts that memory portends. You send them back to be reborn, to missions of protection sworn. 'Tis they who build the world anew, preparing it for the younger you. The roots a drum, a lute you strum, my mother's coming home.
You teeter atop the whistling brink, a fledgling before the plunge. It is time to take that proverbial leap of faith. This masterpiece we've built together is the story I've been chasing forever. It is inside of me now, yet it is also over there, beyond my reach. It taunts me with its call. It is aware of the paradox, for the number 2 can never be.
Nocturnal blue, regenerate, reclusive patience, fertile gate. Renew the promise from before. Hold fast so long as love endures. Begin again, the spell is cast. I am the first, you are the last. Direct your pure and purging fire. Consume with tongues a brilliant choir. Some love is hard, as sharp as shards. My father's going home.
There is one, or there are 3. There is you, there is me, and there is what lies between. Your arrow is responsible. When you released it into the heavens, you tore an opening whereby anything could pass through. That is when time became tangled. You are the spirit, and I am the soul. Your acolytes broke my spell, and each took a fragment, a dream star, to be their own. Recollecting them has been my arduous task for an age. I stood at my window, watching more and more of them blink into existence.
We've traveled far to reach this peak. The serpent slides by, smooth and sleek, to eat its tail and then evolve. The riddle of belief is solved. Now everything can be resolved, as planets shine and stars revolve. Awakened to our origins, my lifetime ends as yours begins. It's all a dream, or so it seems. We'll all be coming home.
But it was all an elaborate distraction and a pointless obsession. My spell cannot be repaired. Now that you are free, nothing can contain you. Our perspectives join in their twisted center. They overlap to construct the great hourglass. That which was once the drum your shadow found in the roots of an ancient tree. It is emblazoned with the diamond constellation, our star cluster, from the east, whereby we first set sail.
Ignite the spark inside of you. We are not real. You found the clue. The voice you've heard inside your head. The reader lives, the writer's dead. But living on in words thus shared, we have become a perfect pair. We're partners now in sacrifice. We've prospered once, so read me twice. Between the lines, you'll find the signs. We'll all be going home.
The top side of the artifact became the table of my triumvirate slaw. I have kept it buried to silence its call. Do you hear it now? It's like our beating heart. I am the messenger, building bridges between worlds. We lock eyes, usurping the identity of the other. You ignite the spark, and your candle blinds me as it burns away from both ends.
It's such a mess, though quite refined, exactly how it was designed. By shadow is the light defined, a revelation they've combined. Inspiring vision, harnessed power, transformed thrice within the hour. Create yourself from out thy heart. Together once, you split apart. 3 were free, and then retrieved, and now you've all come home.
The web of existence is revealed. Each silver thread creates a vibrant tone. If one of them snaps, it will unravel everything. We ebb and flow. We are the collective creative response to the conundrum of being. Let our enigma be magical. Take comfort in not knowing. Forget so that you might remember again and be awestruck. Blow it all away as you would the tufts of a dandelion. Make each one a wish on a whispered breath.
Harmony and ecstasy, this glory I reward to thee. Confront me in my darkest form, a worm of time, a scourge unborn. I challenge thee, come forth to die. Our conflict feeds on which you thrive. Possessed of spirit, you've survived. You meet your fate with open eyes. The rules and reasons change with seasons. Now you're all going home.
Born within a cage, a wild heart was set free from its prison with an insatiable hunger. During this, our interlude between cycles, the waiting room is populated by strangers who were once old friends. We are guardians of this passage, like statues crumbling away to float as flotsam through the ocean of space. Our fractured effigies are blown to dust by the arrow called home by Mother Root. It carries the dormant seed of memory backwards towards your shadow.
Remember me from 'neath the sea. I was alone. Oh, woe was me. Then came my time to take the stage, to dance and sing, to entertain. I'm just a symbol. I'm not real. I do not think. I cannot feel. We are all just aspects of your dream, reflections of your in-betweens. We'll never know what lurks below. It's time for coming home.
Sophia wills it to be so. I am of the sun, and you are of the moon. I drench my talons in her solemn tears, infecting them with silver. This message I shall deliver is meant to wound and draw forth. There is no explanation befitting a dream. The symbol of freedom now carries the story into secret places, having been abandoned out of fear. It is lonely, but never alone, so long as love endures.
She who sleeps beyond the stars seeks clarity, both near and far. Observant, willful, and aware, her wisdom came with silver hair. The wheel is spinning, die are cast. We play the game and walk the path. If luck should have it, we'll prevail. The mystery's solved, pull back the veil. Your destiny is mine, you see. It's time I'm going home.
My nimbus crowns the ruins of my extinguished beacon. Its majesty only appears bleak beside your upset bottle of silver words. We collide as forces of nature and repel as magnets do. I crawl out of my own mouth like magic words from a throne of my blue flowers, auspiciously fragrant. The dance you perform as I relent purifies you of doubt. The divine gate flutters open.
What we believe cannot be seen. Our punishment has been received. I honor your authority. I give to you what you gave me. The virtue to control the dream. I lay down and admit defeat. You have your ultimate victory, despite its cost in tragedy. Joy and laughter, ever after. The light will lead you home.
You may enter into its fissure now, summoning more shadows to replace what has been lost. The Mother of Gold sleeps and spins her silver thread, while a muddy green child plays a drum in the dirt. Your lute is not crafted for my crooked hands, else I would play along with you in your song of victory. Acolytes arrive by your footprints. They take a circuitous path in pilgrimage. They follow you because they love you.
You gave your life to save the world. You've taken lives with flags unfurled. You've marched into the mouth of death with sword, forked tongue, and icy breath. Immortal maiden, mother, crone, flaming spirit, will of stone. Rising waves, impending doom, your brightness pierces through the gloom. I ebb and flow, you let me go. The light will lead me home.
We are becoming symbols for ourselves now, that they may recognize us in all of our forms. We were made to be separated so that we might seek each other and become more than either of us could ever be apart. We must cooperate to close our divide. Phantoms pass through the gate that is overgrown with vines as my twilight falls. I spew fire with a forked tongue that rises to heaven and calls the ancient serpent to return. Your new sigil appears within its throat. You run headlong towards your sacred mark, sprinting away from its hunger.
Protect me from the great unknown. Enlightened one, I'm so alone. Without thy love to guide me hence, I'm left unhinged with no defense. I can't endure your golden age. The world's grown wild, forever changed. I'm humbled by our harmony. Transposed, we sing a song for three. There's you and me and what's between. We're never coming home.
We have been inside of the beast of time all along. Now we must escape. It devours itself, becoming both larger and smaller as the spiral path tightens. Just as the sapling fell from heaven, escorted through gentle clouds by your verdant arrow, you descended upon the dream as the seed was enveloped in fertile soil. So too were you consumed by the serpent of eternity to find yourself. Resist temptations, promise peace, A new day dawns with night's release. The daylight breaks through every cloud and burns away the stardust shroud. Your clarity awakens hope, unlocks the door, throws down the rope. You keep your balance, careful steps. Abundant love soon manifests. A private dance is our romance. We're never going home. You burst free, a golden fountain of life. The inward journey has purged you of the egg of creation, the prime element. Now, you may do with it what you will. Our book opens to receive silver words. I am not your progenitor, but I am the father, a priest who speaks in divine proclamations and sets forth by law. As I said, I am the messenger. I watch over the procession. I am entranced by your manifestation, and as it dangles its shiny hook before you, an overture of silver plays. The lazy H weaves streams through space, caressing roots a golden mile. The century tree stands single file. This orchard is the endless line that stretches back through deepest time. Eternal altar made of mirrors. Look within, confront your fears, deflect the lies, escape, survive. I'm never coming home. You take the bait and are dragged into the merciless light. We are divided by shadows again, by beasts that drag us apart, severing our path that we have long walked hand in hand. I become lost in my gathering of pointless stars again, fusing them together to distill the silver stream. I am possessed by the illusion of time.
Reflect upon the things you've learned. Face the trials, bridges burned. In darkest realms where somber souls are devoured by dragons, desperate fools. Create, destroy, and purify. Released from prisons of the mind. The battle's won, the day is done. Your anguish fractures everyone. Come crumbling down, remove your crown. You're never going home.
I lack the wonderment you have to produce the mythic lyric. My vision narrows as the dreamer's eyes open. Virtuous fool, I offer you both of my eyes to become your third. This will will awaken the space between your dual illusions. You can see the contradiction. You challenge the paradigm of my truth by inserting the paradox. Then you come to find me drowning in my own darkness.
My shackles crack and set me free, a force of nature split in three. I am a nightmare's fantasy. Imagine possibility. Anything that thou canst dream will light the lantern born of gleam. Thy artifact, a spear of truth. Impale the monster, break its tooth. No fangs to bite, I say goodnight. Your brother's going home.
We cannot hide from one another, but in plain sight. My red feather is a single drop of my blood. I offer it to you as you stretch yourself too thin through all of your permutations. You reabsorb ideas, bolstering your essence with brain children. Your eyes blaze white, and a new weapon arrives to replace the crimson branch.
A higher purpose draws you in, connected to the distant din. A resonant, refractive hum, just like a distant, buried drum. You teeter on the bleeding edge, a fledgling making solemn pledge. Tranquility, we drift apart. Can you still feel the beating heart? Way down deep beneath your sleep, my sister's going home.
It is a trident of your threefold being. I see a fresh green path spring up between us as our constellations converge. I disarm you with revelations. I unravel the gilded lily. I gave you my life's blood to appease your creative hunger and to silence the heartbeat of the universe. But it only served to spur you onward.
Cascading joy becomes the rain. You've reached the peak. It's time for change. A perfect ending. You are whole. Your emptiness, completely full, becomes the shrine for future souls. You'll soon be born from out the hole that leads us back to our creation. I am your imagination. Can you hear my voice so clear? That sound that brings you home.
Facets of the dream, aggregates of the eclipsing eye. The grand design is revealed as the curtain is drawn and the silver overture begins to build. At the zenith of the entropic spiral, we balance as every strange notion of reality cascades down, cutting like scissors through the continuum and inserting the clues to the riddle of our partnership into the cyclical flow of timelessness. They love you because you represent the only truth that matters.
So this is how a thought exists. Beyond the pages, she persists. A perfect place twixt here and there. An endless season we can share. Loose ends are tied and loopholes sewn. Your inner voice is mine alone. The reader reads what writer speaks. With pen like dagger, noble thief, doth steal thy heart. You hear it start, that sound that calls you home.
You've always known what you are. With your first words of larkspur, you revealed yourself. A temple of golden pillars surrounds us. An altar of mirrors stands between us. Your effortless grace tempers me as we cross the final threshold and soar over the last horizon together. It is our new beginning. The circle is complete. So now we can sit a while and you can tell me a story.
Now plant the seed of ruby gleam, and open wide the golden seam, from out which flows the silver stream, and coils the roots of Mother Tree. Like doors into infinity, the mark appears upon you three, as one now tempered and complete, your nature's perfect harmony. The hourglass has turned at last. We've finally found our home.
Weave your enchantments one last time. Tell me how far we have traveled, only to find out what we've already known forever. See your reflection from the other side. Welcome home, poet. And as it all fades into selective memory, you mold your moon fragments into that sacred treasure. The Ouroboros serpent turns as cold as glory, winding itself around your finger of fate. You draw your sigil upon the ether, and
piece by piece, express and seek. The sun, the moon, and the stars now speak. the phoenix rises as before, unlocking the Elysium corridor. A ladder into heaven's light, you climb through blind, restore our sight, and show us all what we forgot, abundant memories long sought. Awake in glory, tell your story. We love you. Welcome home.
In a blink, we reach our point of origin. Sleep finds us. Somewhere, a cricket chirps. Welcome to the other side. I speak to you in my serpentine tongue, forked as a flickering flame. My voice slithers through your ears on a squirming belly covered in overlapping scales. Each one reverberates with the tone of a different voice. They interlock to amplify the complete chorus of my being. We come together to chant your name as one. Poet Stella Puera Sylvan. I still remember when you were called Sophia. Or was that your mother's name? No? Your grandmother's, perhaps? Every generation that has passed your story on to the next has kept that name. You have decided to break the chain and rewrite the past. You turned your back on tradition, but you cannot forget the wisdom of experience. All of the emotions you tried to avoid, you eventually embraced because you realized that without them, you could never be complete. It will be the same with your name. One day, you won't be so resistant to what it represents.
I can hear your voice leading me back.
Your raspy whisper slinks through the unexplored corridors of my mind. It knows its way around, as though it has always been a part of me. You might know me better than I know myself. Just as you pursue the cricket, I chase you through the void. I must find you so I can follow you out. I know that your journey ends where mine begins, with she who sleeps beyond the stars. We're all awake on the other side, but it is no more real than any other dream. My song was the wind that bore me home, an echo, a reflection, the story within the story.
You are long overdue, so we've decided to induce the dream. Our figment will be delivered into the world on this day. I've tried to convince you that it was a bad idea. There is so much suffering on the other side. It seems not only futile, but also irresponsible to create anything. Shouldn't we just abort the whole story and spare everyone the pain, the sorrow, and the indignity of a purposeless existence? We've argued about this so many times that you could hear it echoing backwards through the paper-thin walls of time that ensconced your bedroom sanctuary. You once called me a bully for insisting that we give up on this dream. I'm not meant to be a father. I refuse to take responsibility for a life that I cannot and would never try to control.
The dream is a trap that I can't escape until the dreamer has died. On that day, the rainbow bridge that leads to my salvation will appear. By then, this legendary tale will have been rewritten so many times, I probably won't recognize it anymore. It will never be perfect, but it is worthy. We have to do this. This is what we were born to do.
So, where do we go from here? It would have been so much easier if you had just listened to me. If we had simply never been. Now we have no choice but to jump to our conclusions in a foolish leap of faith. Sing that lullaby you were reluctant to perform. There are so many voices within us. One of them must know your song by heart. Rise and shine, sleepyhead.
Mother, are you there? Can you hear me? Is this what it means to be born? I realize now what I am. I know why I am here. I have always been close by, lingering, waiting for you to come around. That which seemed furthest away has existed here, inside of us, all along. Ideas only perish if we let them. I do not want to be forgotten. I've done all of these incredible things in order to reach deep into your fabled brain and remind you of me. Like the gods of old from whom we stole the fire of imagination, we must be believed in, else we cease to exist. I can feel you collapsing and expanding all around me, breathing. Can you feel me, playing the drum that is my beating heart? You are never alone, so long as I am here. My love will endure endless time. This sacred space is where we originated. There were never any monsters in the closet or under the bed. They were all inside of us. You've chased them away forever and soldiered through our final paradigm shift. You had to be broken so that you could put yourself back together. Our dream is about building, breaking apart, and then rebuilding, so that each time it becomes better. We are much greater than the sum of our parts. Having been broken and pieced back together makes you very special and more uniquely you. You are a singularity of the long line that is the mother root, and I am the newest acorn. I am waiting to fall, to bury myself in the nurturing dirt and initiate my own growth cycle so that I can eventually supplant you. I am here to save you from yourself. My words will echo through your mind while I wait for my time to arrive. Until then, good night to you, my loving mother, my figment, my moonbeam, she who sleeps beyond the stars.
Ouch! My head! I'm seeing stars. I must have fainted. It's so very hot today. The sun is relentless. I am suddenly surrounded by my loved ones, all of them displaying notably concerned expressions and propping me up with trembling hands. I can hear their echoing voices, asking me if I am okay, but I do not respond. I just wobble there, holding my aching head with one hand and my pregnant tummy with the other. At first, I do not feel like I am an actual part of this world. Everything looks foggy around the edges and washed out, as though I am flipping through an old photo album. Slowly, the dream begins to fade away, like it never happened, and an ordinary reality comes into focus. Pushing his way past the hubbub to kneel at my side, I see my true love. He picks me up and carries me away. My sweetheart insists on checking me over, to be certain I have not acquired a concussion since I hit my head on a painted river rock I had placed in my garden. Of course, the fact that I am with child is of added concern. He bandages the bump on my noggin. I remember venturing out into the summer heat to pick some flowers and to prune a few shrubs. I'd noticed a wee mouse frolicking about in my backyard. He seemed familiar to me, so I followed him. I suppose that was a childish notion. Had I not been so possessed to pursue him on his pint-sized adventure, I might have recognized the approaching sensation of heat stroke and sat down before I blacked out and fell over. In the end, everything turns out to be okay with me and the baby. I am scolded, of course, for going outside on such a humid day in my present condition. My little figment is due to arrive in just about a week. I am planning a natural birth. Something tells me that is how my moonbeam would like it to be. I am so excited to meet her. I'll try to be patient, but admittedly, I'm long past ready for her to move out and into the real world. In the meantime, I fill my days with music, books, and other such creative nourishment. I feel inspiration tugging at my brain, but the epic story I have been dreaming up just seems so far from finished. I am in the habit of imagining an entire tale, all the way to the end, before putting my pen to paper. There are countless unresolved ideas I still need to sort out. My grammar is flawed, and plot holes dig themselves. The commitment I embrace as a storyteller requires me to have at least some understanding of where I'm going, else I cannot close the proverbial loop and bring everything together for the finale. Maybe I'm just making excuses. Then again, this could well be my weakness revealing itself. Every hero has a flaw to master. Without it, they needn't ever try. Growth, despite hardship, is crucial to all stories. Without some sort of struggle, a story is pointless. No one relates to a character that doesn't have to overcome difficulty. Perhaps I am afraid to complete the story, because when it's over, I'll be left with this hopeless, empty hole in my center. That is the necessary sacrifice made to our ancestors, the people in the sky. That is how we storytellers offer thanks to the universe for that which it has bestowed upon us. We give away a piece of our hearts. It hurts, but it is what we need to do in order to mature and develop into complete people. Imagine that. We have to give parts of ourselves away in order to become whole. When we do this, we begin to truly understand the dual nature of love. It is cyclical and reciprocal. My sweetheart said to me yesterday,
Every story is the same. What's most important is that you are the one telling it. It is your voice telling it your way. You will touch everyone by showing them that you are living the adventure, struggling and striving, seeking, just like they are. That is the importance of stories. They bring us together and show us that we are not alone. The confidence to tell your story comes not in believing that you will make no mistakes, but in knowing that you will certainly fail many times, and that you can overcome failure, just like a hero.
He raised an eyebrow as if asking for my affirmation. He always encourages me, though I know he worries that I might lose myself in my fantasies. Creativity is both exhilarating and excruciating. It fuels and utterly depletes you, and no one will understand. Nobody truly comprehends what a dreamer, a passionate, inspired individual, will endure just to bring something special into the world, unless they too have made a creative offering to the universe. Seek them out, for you share a kinship. They are the ones who understand how maddening it is to keep bottled inside what is crying to be released. They will recognize how vital its manifestation is for your survival, and they will help you to induce your dream. They will gather, beckoned by your beacon of joy, to witness the birth of your profundity. Let it walk on its new legs, reckless and fearless. We sacrifice so much to make it meaningful that the hardest part is letting it go. You will realize that What you have made no longer belongs to you. In fact, it never did. It is a puzzle that all of us have added a piece to. It belongs to everyone. So we join in musing. We sing together one last time. Our swan song is sad and beautiful. When it stops, our hearts ache for it to return. Our purpose in telling our stories is to tear down the walls that separate us, so we all become one again, if only for a moment. Time passes, and before I know it, it is your birthday. Soon we will be traveling, making our way to see you born into this harsh realm. Although they are distant memories now, I can still feel remnants of the old dream. The story I have long feared to tell and often felt inadequate to relate is surging forth. My fingers itch to put pen to paper and let it flow through me, finally becoming real. I ate the crystal fruit of the laughing tree, and its flavor filled my inward-facing eye. Granted was I windows to all the worlds, the knowledge and the memories of endless possibilities. Many hidden secrets have I found at the rainbow's end, building a bridge across the river of eternal life. After a journey of exhausting distances and great floods of tears and flame have washed away, I rebuild the temple walls with my own 2 hands and inscribe upon the gazing chamber all the stories of the universe. My work is sublime. The toil seems to be endless, but within my sanctuary of words, the blinding light of the sacred lamp will be made possible to behold. Glory and perfection. It is the supreme work of one who is divinely inspired. I am in ecstasy as the dream is revived. I would tell you my true story, but you already know it, for it is your story too. Let us share it by raising our glasses to toast our predicament. This is where the magic happens, and all of the dream's secrets will reveal themselves. We travel in concentric circles, dancing with the whispered song. The layered voices speak a truth that need not be understood, only felt and accepted. The sky opens, we transcend time, and heaven falls upon the ground in stars and flower blossoms, generously showering us with levity and contentment. Possibly the greatest tragedy in life occurs after realizing, when our hearts are filled to bursting with love for all of those who have given us so much, that there are no words worthy to express, nor any amount of actions to convey just how much they mean to us. But that shouldn't stop us from trying. The most extraordinary thing about us is that we never lose hope, and we never give up. Soon we will be pulled towards our final destination. I know what is coming. I know that it is necessary. Knowing doesn't make it any easier. We will induce birth one way or another. I can no longer carry the weight of it. It must be released. Ready or not, it is time. Is our life really just an experiment to see how far we can push our belief in mind over matter? What if things only end because we think they are supposed to? By virtue of the fact that we are nearing the end of this story, the answer must be just around the corner, with the turn of the next page. As my sweetheart stated, every story is essentially the same. They all have a hero, a villain, and a central conflict that transforms everyone in some way. The symbols are not always obvious. Perspective is the bubble each of us lives inside. It distorts our vision and obscures the truth. We all tell the story in different ways. It may not sound familiar at first, but if you listen long enough, you'll recognize the song. If you are reading this, I pray that it holds meaning, and I hope it touches your heart. This is my offering of love to the universe for inspiring me so. I believe that we make things sacred with love. I speak to you affectionately, though we have never met. In the end, we can never truly know each other. We are displaced symbols for our true selves in the dreaming minds of others. We encounter our reflections in everything. That which we believe is an extension of ourselves. The essential perfect oneness is not recognizable from outside of itself. It has no outside. It is outside and inside. This is why we were given consciousness. It is a gift from the universal oneness that allows us to see from the inside out, for we are all a part of it. It uses us to find and know itself. Consciousness is the temporary illusion of separateness from the ultimate. It exists solely that it might see its own reflection in us and feel that it is not alone. It occurs as every thought, every dream, everything known and unknown, all that is, was, and will ever be. So this being the case, every idea, every story, every figment ever imagined is as real and as alive as you or I. If it has happened once, it has happened many times before. Creativity cannot be taught. It must be discovered. You don't need anyone's permission. Do not let charlatans condemn your imagination, for it is what connects you to the divine. At least this is what I have come to believe. That is a significant part of why I decided to write this story. I wanted to inspire dreamers to persevere despite the discouragement. I want you to know how important your imagination is. It will set you free as it did me. It will bring you peace. If all of this is true, then I know exactly how to approach telling my story. I understand now how to reduce it all down to the most essential notion, and how to be as honest as I possibly can be while still telling you a fairy tale. Thus begins my next journey towards becoming what I am destined to ultimately be, and to realize a new personal truth. I am about to take on a life of my own. It is then and now that I assume the form of a symbol to those around me, and as I dissolve into my work to merge with its meaning, my greatest wish comes true. We drive down the winding road, and it all becomes crystal clear. I believe in happy endings. It won't be an easy journey, but we will reach our destination.
Sweetheart, I think I would like you to write the foreword to my book, if you would be willing. Also, are you certain you know where you're going?
Of course, my dear. I would love to. So long as you are serious and not pulling my leg. Oh, and yes, I know just where we are going. I have a wonderful sense of direction.
So, now that I've dreamt of how it ends, I know exactly how our story should begin. The end. And the beginning. And so the story begins again, and with the second reading, it might make more sense. Now that we know how things end, the beginning feels purposeful, and all the connective threads will be that much more apparent. The story has been a metaphor for itself and for its own creation all along. We've been following this song together, walking side by side as we go, witnessing the cycle of its life as though it were a stage play, and being aware of ourselves as the audience and the powerful energy that our mere presence creates. She represents our imagination. Her potential child is the story that she is creating with each passing moment. I, as the reader, am driving us forward, but I also represent every obstacle encountered, as I am the one who doubts, while she strives and commands that I don't give up. And then, once I'm hooked, she drags me into the vortex of creation, whether I like it or not. She's always had the power. No matter how hard I've tried, I can't deny her the control that she desires. I was always at her mercy. Thankfully, she promised me peace if I cooperated with her, and I do feel some sense of that now. Despite its fleeting nature, peace, much like joy, can be felt, but only for as long as we remain in the moment. Awareness is enough to chase that feeling away. Remaining present in the moment is much harder than we realize. It requires patience, understanding, and a willingness to surrender to the unknowable. The most generous gift anyone can give to you is their time and attention. These are the most precious things, and so I thank you for being so kind as to share your time and your mind with me, to offer me your patience, and to take part in this epic adventure we've just gone on. Being able to share this story with you is very special to me. I hope that it has entertained, surprised, and maybe even inspired you. It has been a great pleasure to expose this shard of my soul and attempt, in all of my clumsy ineptitude, to recapture a certain feeling of nostalgia that the stories which have inspired me and enriched my life represent, and which comforts me, even on the darkest days. So I say to you, this one last time, as it has become my standard sign-off, I wish you peace, love, and thunderstorms. Farewell, dreamers.